Hey everybody, I'm Katherine, and we're in Art Schoolie. It's still 100 degrees here. It is spooky season. I'm gonna get a jump start on Halloween, and today I am getting my mad scientist, evil gardener / internet trend on. I'm sure if you've seen Rachel Maxey's videos or Over the Garden Wall or any of the vintage creepy Halloween stuff, you've seen pumpkin-headed people and costumes taking over everywhere. And I want to make one. So I am going to get crazy, get messy, probably make some mistakes, and make myself a giant pumpkin head. So let's get started. So my plan is to take one of these big old punching balloons and make a net of yarn so it gives it that bulbous, ridged pumpkin shape. I'm hoping that my yarn will be soft enough to not pop my balloon, but strong enough to actually kind of give it the effect I'm looking for. Well, I don't believe third time's the charm for the balloon, so I'm going to try something different. I have leftover wallpaper. Oh, it's warm. I have leftover wallpaper paste from doing the bus, so I'm gonna try that. Normally I'm a glue to water ratio kind of person, but you know, we're gonna use what we got. Oh, it's sticky. Alright, this is feeling promising, so I'm gonna do a bunch of layers because that's where it gets its strength. And you know, if it can hold it together half as well as I held it together in 2020, then yeah, it'll be okay. So I think I'm gonna do what, you know, a lot of artists do, and that's wing it and see where the project takes me. Like, I love those creepy, like, turn of the century Victorian postcards that just make absolutely no sense, and everything's just slightly kind of handmade and wonky and looks like nightmare fuel. But I'm also going to be spending my Halloween with small children, and there's a fun line between spooky and, like, mentally scarring. So I'm going to try and stay on the spooky fun side of things. But, you know, still have fun with it. It's Halloween. Now, Little Sprout hasn't decided what she wants to be yet. And by hasn't decided, I mean we have like 15 contenders for Halloween costumes. So we'll see if she gets on the pumpkin head train with me or if she decides to do something totally different. Either way, it's gonna be fun. When she was like 2, we went as a mad scientist and a monster. She was the mad scientist and I got to play the role of her creation. I made myself mismatched horns and I wore like one tentacle arm and, you know, mismatched monster feet and this like cool ripped up dress I got from Goodwill. And I think a lot of people had fun with, like, I could have been the sexy mad scientist and she could have been the cute monster, but I think there was fun in kind of subverting the roles. I think part of the appeal of going with like the sewn pumpkin look would mean if there's any lumps and bumps, it's like, oh look, it's crafted, it's rustic, it's homemade, it's supposed to be like that. But I'm still really trying to strive for like actual vegetable, and then whatever theme I go with is just accents on top. Either it's like, you know, cursed gardener, or, you know, pumpkin cowboy, or like crafty pumpkin lady. And I know a lot of this will come down to the paint job too, but I'd like it to have a good shape. And just make my life easier. You know. I like it to just make it instead of having to fake it to make it, you know. Oh, you just gave me a great idea, baby.
What?
I like that. What if I had creepy button eyes?
With so many eyes.
Creepy. The wallpaper paste was doing a decent job. I was impressed. Had it had a more solid base, I think I could have gotten many great layers and been fine with the whole thing. That said, I decided to take it off early and strengthen the whole head with 2 panels of Worbla. Worbla is a thermoplastic, so you get it hot and it's malleable, and then it cools down and retains its new shape. It's pretty wonderful stuff. I covered the front panel and the back, the front because I knew I was going to be compromising the structural integrity by cutting holes, and then the back for some lateral strength. To smooth the transitions and add more details, I used celluclay, which is like a fine paper pulp that dries to be sandable and paintable. I also covered some cardboard and Worbla for the giant buttons and gave those a paint job. The pumpkin got a very bright acrylic and PVA glue base, and then I came in and toned it down. I have some macrame string left over from Macchiato's cat bed, and I'm going to use that to kind of make it look like they're stitched on like I did with this one. Let's take it. So I thought it'd be really cool if I was to stitch up the mouth, kind of all creepy style. So I have more of this string, and I might go down with the single ply. Yeah, probably like that. So I'm going to do the terrifying thing of putting holes in this pumpkin, and we'll see how it goes. Excuse you, hot glue. So to really sell that homespun, stitched, creepy, patched up pumpkin, I'm going to, get threads everywhere. I'm going to actually add some patches. And it might be a little cliche, like kind of getting into that scarecrow territory, but hey, you know what, if it works, if the visual imagery works, don't fight it. So the pumpkin is looking great, but I really wanted to make another prop to really sell the kind of sewing side of the costume. So I grabbed some just kind of recyclable trash, some toilet paper tubes and some scrap packaging paper, and started making myself a spool of thread. I wanted it really oversized and just over the top and dramatic. So I'm going to pad up the ends of the spool here to give it that tapered kind of vintage spool look. And then I'm going to bust out my warbler. So I'm going to bust out the warbler again to make the needle. I'm going to make a big old snake and pop a hole in the end and call it a needle. And I'm also going to cover the ends of the spools to give them strength and also something that's easier to paint on. I'll give everything a paint job, a nice gray first on the needles, and then come in with the silver, and a wood grain look on the spool. I got excited and forgot to film putting the thread on the spool, but it's the same macrame string I was using, and then I just tacked it on with hot glue and wound it around. So yeah, it actually goes through the needle. The needle's super lightweight because it's just warbler. This is just cardboard, but you know, it's effective enough. And now I can do creepy stitched pumpkin things. That's a wrap. I'm sweaty. So I think it turned out pretty well. I'm happy with the kind of balance between cute and creepy and that kind of unsettling uncanniness that handmade and sewn stuff lends to it. You got a little bit of a Coraline vibe going on, and I'm thrilled. So me and my lumpy head are gonna have some fun this Halloween. Little Sprout likes it, so I know that I'm not scarring the children too much with anything super creepy, but I think it'll be fun to take to the local pumpkin patch and hang out in a field like a cool kid. But thanks for crafting with me. I know we're not in the bus, but the bus's doors are always open and you are welcome on board anytime. If you like what I'm making, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Still see my head, but then you can't see my pumpkin. What do I do?
How do you see me?